Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session of the Saginaw City Council meeting. We will open the meeting with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will lead the prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather together to conduct the necessary business of this community, it is important that we recognize that we are the servants of the people of this city, that we are here to do what is best for our citizens and to make the most of the city and to improve it as much as we possibly can every day and to work towards those goals. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. What are you doing? You're doing too much. Madam Clerk.
Mayor. Councilmember Forbes.
Present.
Councilmember Bryant.
Present.
Councilmember Bench.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Present.
Councilmember Scherzer. Present. Councilmember Millen.
Present.
Councilmember Balls.
Present.
Ostash is excused. Mayor Clark.
Here.
We have 8 members present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Because this is a public meeting, we ask that all members of the audience please remain quiet and refrain from speaking, interrupting, or otherwise disrupting the meeting. Also, this is a good time to remind everyone, including the council members up here, to please turn off or silence all electronic devices. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. I do have one announcement tonight. Tomorrow, Tuesday, September 24th, it is National Voter Registration Day. And the goal of this day is to focus on the attention, putting it on the importance of registering to vote, updating your voter registration information, and to verify where you vote. While tomorrow is a nationwide day for this goal, the city clerk's office is always ready to assist voters Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And with that, Mayor, it takes us to public input.
Public input. Today, we welcome those who have signed up to address council tonight. Thank you for sharing with us your thoughts and input. Hearing from the citizens we represent is very important to us. We ask that you speak slowly and clearly so that we don't miss what you have to say. When called to the podium, please introduce yourself and state your home address. Let us know if you will be speaking solely for yourself or on behalf of a group. All speakers will have a 3-minute limit, which will be timed by the clerk, so be sure to cover your main points first. We ask that your presentation be courteous and respectful to the members of the public present, to the citizens watching SGTV, and to council, so we can give serious consideration to your concerns. All follow-ups will be referred to the city staff. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Our first speaker is Michael Charvanaugh.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Laura Chavanaugh. This is my husband, Michael, and we're here about getting our name put on our water bill that I've been trying to do for 3 years, and every time I try to do it.
Ma'am, I hate to interrupt you, but under our rules, it is supposed to be the person who signs up to speak.
Oh, well, I thought it was both of us.
Well, she does better than I do.
Well, I understand, but really, we do have to follow the rules.
Okay, anyways, on this water bill, like she said, it belonged to her grandma. And she's been dead 16 years. When we go down to try to get it transferred over into our name, they tell us up there that we have to bring the grandma down to sign. That's well, how you gonna do that? She said, well, we don't know. So what are we supposed to do?
We will refer to the staff for a response. There is a method, but you'll have to follow that appropriate procedure.
What?
How do we get what we want to do is get it in our name for our credit.
We can't answer that from up here. We have to refer it to our staff to address the issue with you.
Okay. What else you got?
That's it. How that?
What is this?
About the water bill too. Our deposit.
Oh. We owned a house over on Huntley in Saginaw. Sold it to my daughter. The water was in my name, and when she paid the house off, She, paid the last month's bill was $95. And, then she paid $200 and some for the,
She
For
paid
the
$200
deposit.
for her deposit and a $25 processing fee. And they charged us $20 to activate it. And our final, and her final bill for on our $100 deposit. I'm not understanding that either.
All right, again, we will refer that to the management to respond to you.
Okay,
They will investigate and get back with you.
all right, thank you.
Our next speaker is Felicia McCaw.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Felicia McCaw, and I live at 1003 North Roseville, Austin Avenue, here in Saginaw, Michigan. I have a property at 527 South 12th Street. I've received an unoccupied property registration. I looked it over, and there's, the way the form is formatted, it's possibly conceivably would put the city in risk if I signed it, and also myself in possible financial difficulty. It's for unoccupied properties, and under here it says code 15110, says unsupervised properties. My property is not unsupervised. We're working on the house, and sometime, probably a month or two ago, someone went in and stole the furnace. Now, the furnace has been in there since my mom passed in 2016. And the property has been in the estate since 2016. I just changed the name over to myself in February. I have here documentation in here giving the dates that the water has been paid. They just abruptly cut the water off because I hadn't changed the name over. And I am disagreeing with this form because I don't want to give total control to the city to decide if it's a dangerous building. It's not a dangerous building, it is a controlled project. But I couldn't help it if someone, has went in there. I'm being troubled at my other property and with my vehicles as well. So it's more like a target, and what I've said is that what is happening is people know you have an income. I have 2 vehicles. Usually women don't have anything, by themselves. So I have been getting my share of jealousy. So what I'm pretty much trying to do, since it's not an unsupervised property, there gives me a little latitude there to say that it is a supervised property. And really, I don't feel that this form or that coding is correct, nor is what they want you to sign over, total control for the city to go out and let's just say they decide to give them to be the total call, make the final call, because I can do that. And if I need it boarded up, I can board it up myself. So what I'm trying to do is get the water turned on without submitting this form. I would like someone to look at this form, review this form, and alter this form, because to me, it's a lawsuit.
Ma'am.
All right,
It'll
thank
be
you.
referred to the staff to get back with you.
Our next speaker is Bill Scheiberger.
Good evening, members of the City Council, City Manager, and the audience, people back home on TV. My name is Bill Scheiberger. I live at 1137 Howard, east side of Saginaw. And I come tonight before the council to ask for your support for the STARS staff and board that last year put in for application for federal funds for bus pads. Now, a bus pad simply is a piece of sidewalk 6 feet wide at least, and same stats as you pour cement for a regular sidewalk. and it's between the bus stop from the curb to the sidewalk. And this complies with the ADA requirements. I don't know if the city ever considered being sued for not having bus pads at every bus stop. And there's about 300 that need to be done in the city of Saginaw. And this happens to be the 25th anniversary of the STARS Bus Authority, and which before that the city had. So it's been in good standing, and this March there will be a millage renewal for 3 mills. I definitely would like to see this done. I realize the city puts in ADA curb cuts at the corners of the streets, but public transportation has been in Saginaw since 1863, from trolley cars and what have you. And last year, we were zeroed out. And I don't speak as a member, I'm speaking as an independent citizen, but I'm also serve on the Transit Advisory Committee. One contention I had is I couldn't understand why the city completely zeroed us out when this federal money benefits every citizen in the city that's willing and able to use a bus. And I've noticed over the years living in Saginaw, riding the buses, that there are a lot of older people that when they get off the bus, they're climbing into a snowbank. I've done that many times myself. And also, one time I stepped off the bus and I stepped into 2 inches of mud. So I'm asking, thank you. I'll continue later.
Thank you, Mr. Scheinberger.
Our next speaker is Angie Miller.
Welcome, Ms. Miller.
Good evening. My name's Angie Miller. I'm the president of the Mid-Michigan Area Labor Council with an office located at 1614 Mershon here in Saginaw. 2 things that I'm here to talk to you about this evening. The first thing is that the Mid-Michigan Area Labor Council, in cooperation with a number of civic and community groups, is involved in a project to help with the elections in 2020. So it seems quite appropriate based on what the clerk talked to us about a few minutes ago. We've begun to door knock and canvass program to discuss voter registration and absentee voter changes to encourage residents to sign up for the city's permanent absentee voter application list. We held our first walk 2 weeks ago and have additional walks scheduled in October and November. Several of our partners will also be running their own walks around the program. We're hoping to engage more citizens to vote from the comfort of their own home. It's very simple. There's a blue postcard that they can fill out, and they can get that right here at the clerk's office, or if we happen to show up at your door, they fill that out, return it to the clerk, and when it's time, when it gets around time for voting, an application will automatically be sent to your home. You fill that out, send it back to the clerk, and they will send you an absentee ballot. So it's really easy to vote from your own home. You won't have the long lines any longer at the polls, and you won't have to worry about missing the election. So I personally want to thank the clerk's office. They've created a really easy postcard for everyone to fill out, and we were fortunate enough to have the deputy city clerk attend our meeting and to answer any questions that anyone had. So I really appreciate their partnership. Secondly, as many of you are aware, last Monday, when a settlement could not be reached with General Motors, the UAW went out on strike. In the week since the UAW went out on strike, they've been maintaining a 24/7 picket at the GM Metal Casting in Saginaw, along with other sites in Michigan and across the nation. Our affiliated unions have rallied by going out to the picket line and providing support in the way of water and meals. We welcome and encourage all of you from City Council and all members in the community to join us in supporting UAW. Show your support by honking as you drive by stopping and walking with them at the picket line, bringing them food or water and other supplies so that they can continue their fight for a fair contract. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Salim Manan.
Welcome, Mr. Bernard.
Thank you for that welcome. I'm Salim Manan, and I live at 1514 Milton Street. And Honorable City Council Member, City Manager, and faculty, thank you for welcoming me and allowing me this opportunity to speak. Today I'm here to call for compassion. I know for a fact the time that we're living in is a callous time, where we don't care enough about others. If we're okay, everything's okay. But what happens to other people? Like one administrator in Bay City said when they were having high crime rate, he told them, we're going to stop crime here in Saginaw, in Bay City. If you want to do it, go to Saginaw. Now they just released in the paper that people outside of Saginaw now have not said that they're going to buy into this drug thing. In the paper, it clearly says that they're going to wait to see what happens to us. People, we like to push crime out, then it goes somewhere else. We don't care about it, long as it's not happening where we are, or we don't care about our neighbor. There's nowhere in the world that you can allow them to have drugs in this community and say you love and care about people. You make an agreement with people that's going to make money at the suffering of people. Every person that I know has suffered under drugs, I see them, I know them, I care about them, and I'm standing here because of them, because I don't want to see what's repeated in their lives. There are twin little boys, 6 years old right now, their mother's on drug, locked in prison. They're affected by the drugs that she used. I went to visit them and they got backpacks loading them up with their books. They're so excited about going to school, but how can I tell them that they cannot operate at the same level as the other children? They will never be able to do it. I'm used to women fighting with me. But now we live in a time where we're so callous, even the women are not stepping forward for humanity, for the babies, for you know what it's doing to them. Our state, they said it's okay. Our state said the lottery's okay. Our state says the emergency manager they put in every African American community that destroyed our communities was okay. 200 and some women up at Michigan State University was abused, and it was okay. No one cared. Nobody did nothing. The prosecutor did nothing. In this state, we had the least transparent government out of any state in this country. I'm not used to that in Michigan. I came under Milliken. You remember Milliken? I came under Milliken. I'm not used to my state doing this. Coming to our schools and closing our schools. Every time you look around, they're changing the goalposts of what your school should be doing and what your school shouldn't do. Are we going to close that school? Opening casinos, taking our lottery money. If I can't come to women to bring us back to life, what am I going to do?
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, that takes us to remarks of council.
All right, there is a 3-minute limit, as everyone will recall. Normally, tonight we would be beginning with Councilmember Rostash, but he's not here, so Councilmember Balls.
Well, thank you. Good evening, citizens. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the city council meeting this evening. It's good to see the commissioner here, O'Neill. Good to see you, brother. And for the people that brought their complaints to the city, I'm sure they will be, you will get answers. And Angie,
Can I just double check why I
No,
don't
this,
know? I don't know why I'm not, my name's not on. I got it okay. I mean, I did it on the computer, but I'm just not sure. Is there a reason why I wasn't on?
What is your name?
Mary McClutch?
No, we don't have yours.
How should I do it formally then? I'm sorry.
I'll talk with you after the meeting.
our apologies.
Angie, thank you for bringing that report about the UAW and their strike. As a UAW member, I support them wholeheartedly. My brother worked at that plant. Mr. Salim worked at that plant, and a few other people worked there. So we hope that they get a fair and equitable contract that's good for their families. General Motors been making all kind of money lately. They're spending it all over the place, building other facilities and overseas and every place else. And when it's time to come home, they need to do the same thing and support the people there. And I will be there supporting my brother to pick line too. I don't have a lot to report. No more than say that, you know, the city is going through some changes, good and bad, and that we all have to be part of the process to make sure that it's better for all the citizens in the city of Saginaw. So I'd just like to thank the neighborhood associations for what they're doing. They're tremendous work that they're doing in neighborhoods. I noticed the crime has cut down a lot, and I think it got a lot to do with the neighborhood associations. When the police and the citizens walk the neighborhoods and clean up the neighborhoods and pick up trash, it makes everybody in the neighborhood feel better about their neighborhoods. And I even noticed too when I was walking last year that when we went up to the steps, some people wanted to talk to the police officer more than they wanted to talk to us. They want to tell them some things that are going on in their neighborhoods. You know, some people, you know, are scared maybe to call the police, but when they come to their house, they're not afraid to talk to them about what's going on in their neighborhood. I've seen some things happen in Chicago where 1,000 men walked the neighborhoods. You don't never see anything like that on the newspaper, but 1,000 black men was walking the neighborhoods in Chicago to take back their neighborhoods from crime. And when I seen that, I was thinking about the neighborhood associations. You know, it's not 1,000 people, but we are walking the neighborhoods to take them back from crime. So let's just continue to do the things that we do in the city of Saginaw and make it great for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Milne.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Some good signs about what's going on in Saginaw. I don't know if people have noticed, but at every major thoroughfare, when you drive into or about this town now, the signs are up that say Delta College this way. And I think that's something this city waited for over 50 years, to have signs saying right here. So I thought that was really neat this week. On Thursday, I attended the ALPAC meeting. This is a community law enforcement interaction to make sure they're working together to help reduce friction. And I wanted to report that our Police Chief, Bob Ruth, is the new law enforcement co-chair of that body. And a very nice presentation was made, Bridges Out of Poverty. The director over at the First Ward Community Center set that up. And I think that's something that I'm looking forward to more organizations getting that presentation. It had very good information in it. Kind of along the same lines, on Friday was a new initiative aimed at trying to reduce the violence and stabilize home life in the city of Saginaw, S-Live. And this was hosted by Ascension St. Mary's. The mayor also was there, I saw. And our Lieutenant David Kenziorski from our police department made one of the major presentations at that. And this was the initial year that was going on, and they planned for this to be a continuing initiative in the community. A couple of milestones. A couple of weeks ago was Spicer Engineering's 75th anniversary celebration, and they had a lot of displays about how they started in, I think it was the living room or a couple of the rooms of Mr. Spicer's home, and now they're occupying major buildings downtown here and employ about 200 people and have locations in other cities in Michigan. So a big success story for a Saginaw-based company. And last Monday, we dedicated the improvements to Ojibwe Island, and that was a major collaboration of MDEQ and the DNR and city money and the county parks department. So the mayor cut the ribbon at that. I'm sure he's going to mention more about that later. So a lot of positive things happening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Scherzer.
Thank you. I first want to thank everyone that is here and also listening at home for participating with the city council meeting. And also to our speakers, thank you for coming in and sharing your concerns. To Angie, on behalf of all council, we are some council, I should say, especially myself. We appreciate the efforts and I fully support those that are on strike and the families that it's being affected, and it's affecting the entire community. And I think even though this is maybe the first week, I think the weeks following this week is going to be even more impactful, and for those who understand will understand coming weeks. Last night was the NAACP's Freedom Fund Banquet. They celebrated 100 years. I saw some of my fellow council members there, and the mayor was up on the dais, looking wonderful. So I just want to say congratulations publicly to the NAACP for all that you've contributed, and of course to the two strong female leaders, Bernice Barlow and also Leola Wilson. You have made impact in this community for other females to step up and be leaders as well. So I want to thank them both. The Green Team is currently holding and promoting the Christmas door decorating contest. I am a judge for that, so I highly encourage the city to get involved. I'm sure the city manager's office will win this year. I'm pretty sure they will. But I hope, I hope other city departments get involved more than what we had last year. I think we had about 20, but I heard before there's been up to like 30, 40, 50 departments. We'll go travel to your building if we have to judge, so I look forward to that. Also looking forward to Fire Ops Day next week on Monday, so hopefully the rest of the council is there, put on our turn-up gear and do some ground drills, possibly. And then I just want to remind everyone that the next citywide meeting is this Thursday at Zion Lutheran Church at 5:30. So just want to remind the community to come out and support. Other than that, that's all I have.
Very good. Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Excuse me, good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank all our public speakers, Union 100, for all of the people who are listening to my voice. I'd like to publicly congratulate Miss Autumn because she got an award last night at the NAACP. This must be the year of the women, because we're rising. It was a beautiful activity. It was really, really nice, well attended. Throughout the week, I've been doing little stuff, not big stuff anymore, just little. I did go to the ribbon cutting. Ojibwe is really, really nice. We just got to do something with them ducks. Geese. Yeah. We got to do something with them because they make you stop and wait on them like they running the road. So we really need to do something with them. I don't mean kill them. Don't say she said that. I mean, we need to feed them so that they can move on, across the sidewalks. So it is really an exciting week for me. On tomorrow, it will be announced on Wednesday in Saginaw's paper. Stay tuned. I am officially the president for the Municipal League, which means that I am the first African American out of 120 years to get such an honor bestowed on me. On Wednesday, I will do my formal greeting like I'm the president, y'all. I done graduated. But I'm totally excited. I'm more excited for the city of Saginaw because what that means is money, 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 money. Money. We're going to try to get some money, and we're going to try to do some things that we can to help our city be a whole lot better. As for my council members, those that are going, I'm excited about you going. This is going to be a fabulous week for us. Those who are not going, we're going to bring y'all some souvenirs back.
Please.
Okay? And homework. So with that, all of our public speakers, all of your questions, I hope will be answered. If they are not answered, the young lady that had the question about the unoccupied dwelling, I wish when people talk to us, they would sit and wait to hear our comments so that they can know that we are supportive and we just can't talk. We will remind the city manager again. It'll be 9 reminders and the department heads that we're asking for some answers. So I encourage everybody to come to our meetings. Saginaw is on the rise. My feature story for my whole article is the downtown market. So a magazine will be out in November with all the Saginaw market. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bench.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Well, first of all, congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem Moore. We are all very proud of you and appreciate all the work you have put in during your time at the MML and how much you've encouraged us all to get involved. So we appreciate everything you do. I also want to commend Autumn on her recognition last night. It's wonderful to be on such a well-recognized group of, or, part of a well-recognized group of people, but, especially, nice honor at such a wonderful occasion, where the NAACP was celebrating their 100 years. And that was just an incredible event. They always have great speakers, and, it was nice to be there and see council so well represented. We definitely appreciate, everything that they've done in the community. Ms. Miller, thank you for being here. I stand in solidarity with my union brothers and sisters, without question. It is something that's definitely affected so many people that I know who are out there striking or struggling with the things that are going on, and the way the UAW is standing up is always inspiring, and we appreciate it. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Thanks to our public speakers, those who brought some issues to our attention tonight. As Mayor Pro Tem Moore said, the city manager is very good at getting back with those individuals who come to us. So certainly if they don't get a response, please let us know. Just a couple of upcoming events I wanted to talk about. Last night was nice. I think it's the first time since I've been going to the NAACP or been an NAACP member that we've had 7 people from the city council there. That's outstanding. That's outstanding, and I'm proud of us. I have to say that, and kudos to you, Autumn, because I was like, they were describing Autumn, and they didn't say the name until the end, and I was like, they said they call her Councilwoman. I was like, it was great. It was really nice. We had a good time at that event. It's good when we can get together and do things and show unity to our community. So thank you for everybody, because I know it wasn't easy. Sometimes these tickets do get expensive, and at $75, we had to go in our piggy bank, because that's about a little bit about a month's wages for us. But it was a good evening nonetheless. I just want to hit on a couple things. Ms. Miller with UAW, I am in conversation with the mayor about what's appropriate for us to do, if we need to do a resolution, if we need to do a letter, but those conversations are happening. And a lot of us, I think, a strong majority of us have been out there. We understand what that means on many levels. I know that Ms. Scherzer with the Diaper Alliance, she's one of the people who is connecting out there. So we are doing what we can, and hopefully we can formalize something soon. Okay, thank you very much for that. And I did want to let folks know tomorrow at the Saginaw River Confluence at Wicks Park, there's going to be a memorial bench placed there for Howard Sharper. Many of us in the community know him for his excellent photography and the way that he was really able to capture some really lovely images of our community, and that's great. When we show other people, we can really highlight how beautiful our community is. The other thing is I'm going to be having another community conversation. We're going to be talking about arson watch, weatherization, and different resources for folks when it comes to home heating credits and things like that. We're going to have members from the Saginaw Community Action Committee there, as well as Habitat for Humanity. And I had 2 grandmothers. One was from Mississippi and one was from Munising. So my grandma from Munising is going to help us make some pasties. So we're going to have the great debate, ketchup or gravy. So hope to see you there at Butman Fish, October 18th for pasties and politics. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Forbes.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you to our speakers tonight. I'm sure the city staff will get back to all of our speakers tonight about their concerns. I just wanted to remind my neighbors that now is the time to celebrate the harvest season. I visited the downtown farmers market this weekend, and it was incredible, the beautiful produce that the farmers have to offer, also incredible music. I grew up in this community, but I have really grown to appreciate our agricultural side as I've gotten older. And so It was a great day outside. They are open Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 3, Saturday 9 to 1 at the SVRC Marketplace. Another way to celebrate the harvest would be to attend the Heather Boyd Community Garden Fall Harvest Festival on Saturday, October 5th from 10 to 3. The garden is behind the SEIU Fall 1417 South Hamilton, and the event will include music, games, crafts, kids' activities, giveaways, and prizes. So come on out for that as well. My grandfather and two of my uncles were UAW members, and they worked hard and long to support their families. Separate from that, our success as a community depends on the fair-paying jobs and safe working conditions that our union brothers and sisters fight for right now and every day. I wholeheartedly support them, and they are in my thoughts and prayers. And lastly, I would also like to congratulate President Brenda on her incredible accomplishment. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. I think we're all very proud of our Mayor Pro Tem. She will be leading the MML for the next year and will be representing us very well. My comments, I do want to welcome everybody and thank you for being here. I do want to remind everybody of the awards ceremony and open house for the Saginaw Fire Department on October 8th coming up. Chief, hopefully, I expect to be there. I'm sure many of our council, if not all, will be there. And certainly the public is invited as well, and we welcome as much attendance as we can possibly get. It's a great recognition for the firefighters and civilians who have made the contributions to the safety of our citizens this year. The Japanese Cultural Festival was on the 15th. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. This has been a 50-year plus sister city relationship. The Japanese Tea House and Japanese Gardens have been here for most of that time, and having the ceremony here is really important. We had the Deputy Consul General here from Japan actually attend out of Detroit, and it was a very good event. So if you missed it, I hope you will look into it next year. It's a great event. Next, the Adams Boulevard neighborhood tug of war was this past a week ago, and I was hoping Deb would get up and give us a report because the firefighters won, but it was a little lopsided because the firemen had about 30 pounds or 40 pounds per person on the poor policemen. But then we won't talk too much about the kids who beat the firefighters, will we, Chief? I think you might need to turn that award over to all those kids. That was an interesting tug of war with the kids against the four firefighters. It was wonderful. A new event to take place every year after this, I think. The Ojibwe Island celebration was mentioned. I won't say too much more because it is good to have the Ojibwe Island opened and have the portion of the Iron Bell Trail that is now through the park open, and to have the improvements that were made to the staging area. Those are wonderful improvements and will help us serve future events and activities at the Ojibwe Island Park. There used to be a group of mayors from the local the Tri-City area meet on a regular basis. That hasn't been happening the last few years, but I'll cover this later at the end. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
We are now at the reports from the manager.
Thank you. And first, I'm going to invite County Commissioner Amos O'Neill up to the podium. He has a proclamation he wanted to present.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Pleasure is mine. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, city manager, city attorney, staff. I'm Amos O'Neill. I reside at 207 Moulton Drive, Saginaw, Michigan, 48601. I'm honored to be here tonight on behalf of the Saginaw County Board of Commissioners. I do have a proclamation for my friend and former Mayor Greg Branch. And I thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to share this information at this time. The goal obviously was to coincide our efforts during that time. So it reads, in memory, Greg Branch. Greg Branch was a Renaissance man. He was a brilliant, talented, funny, caring, passionate, and kind person who impacted so many in positive ways. The former mayor and one of Saginaw's best known, best loved residents passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, leaving behind his wife, Ann, 3 children, Grace, Samuel, and Benjamin, as well as an entire community full of people who he touched, who are in mourning at this time. Greg was self-employed. He was a history nerd. And he was a fierce supporter of preserving Saginaw historic integrity, and served for many years on city council and as mayor, among many other talents. Greg loved Saginaw. It was his home. And much like the line from the theme song on the TV show Cheers, it characterizes the way our town embraced Greg. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they always were glad you came. Greg was a strong advocate for Saginaw. On the back cover of the book, Saginaw County, Visions of the Valley, authored by Greg, he expresses his love for the county he lives in. Saginaw County, Michigan, where many rivers meet to form a mighty river, is a place with a splendid blend of cultural diversity and community spirit. Here in Saginaw, small town charms mixes with big city amenities, and the opportunities abound for both work and play. Greg's accomplishments are so great that they are woven into the very fabric that makes up this city. He has accomplished several things that put him in the Saginaw history books. In 1973, Greg was part of possibly one of the greatest high school football teams in Michigan history. Arthur Hill High School football team was not only undefeated, but no team scored a point against them. And becoming the mayor of the city of Saginaw was a huge achievement that would benefit Saginaw more than we would ever know. You could write a book about the impact that Greg has had on the city of Saginaw. For 40 years, Greg created, shaped memorable, lasting messages, stories, brand strategies for thousands of businesses, campaigns, municipal entities, and nonprofit organizations throughout the Great Lakes Bay region. His signature vest, which actually Brother Celine reminded me of him today, he has on a vest, his signature vest, his pocket watch were well known. The pocket watch functioned as his wedding ring. I have several quotes, one from myself. Commissioner Amos O'Neill served as Mayor Pro Tem during Greg's tenure as mayor. And I quote myself, I said, he always included everyone and gave us all a chance to be different. And that is something that says a lot about the individual and his leadership. He represented the city well. And current mayor was quoted as well in my document, and I will quote you, Mr. Mayor. Current Mayor Floyd Clark echoed Commissioner O'Neill's sentiments, and I quote, he could get others to do the right thing because it was the right thing to do, end of quote. He was completely committed to helping Saginaw become a better place to live and work. Highlighted accomplishments while Greg served as mayor were the establishment of his strategic planning process beginning in 2007, and it continues today. A lot of things you see today are a result of those activities that occurred in 2007. That set the course for the city's funding plan. The second was the department study process with Plant Moran that facilitated the city's department reorganization that saved over $1 million. This process, I believe, continues today. In celebration of the man that helped set the course for the future of Saginaw County. We leave you with his own words from the preface of Saginaw County, Visions of the Valley. And I quote, people tend to take their homes for granted. For some reason, I never really have. To be completely honest, I love Saginaw County. I lived here my whole life, and I have a very deep roots in the area. Maybe I'm just lucky to have learned not to take certain things for granted. But I also think it's because over the years, I've learned a lot about Saginaw County. The more I've learned about my home, the more I've experienced the many things in Saginaw County has offered, the more I've become appreciative. I hope this book will have an effect on the people who already live here. Perhaps we can discover or rediscover some of the wonderful things that make Saginaw County special. Greg will be greatly missed as we strive to maintain his legacy of stewardship. And again, on behalf of the Saginaw County Board of Commissioners, I extend the sympathies to the family of Greg Branch. Saginaw County continue to reap the rewards of his hard work for years to come. May we always celebrate Greg as we strive to live up to the passion he exhibited toward our community. And this document is respectfully signed by Chairman Michael Westber and Amos O'Neill, Commissioner, District 9. And Mr. Mayor, members of council, city manager, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you again for this opportunity. And I will personally make contact with Ann to make sure she gets this document to avoid any further pain or remembrance of this sad time. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity. And if I may, Mr. Manager, I want to congratulate my colleague and friend, Brenda Moore, Mayor Pro Tem, President of the Michigan Municipal League. I too was an avid attender of all the MML activities, and actually when she was first elected, I believe Commissioner Balls was with us, but I took him to the MML and I said, I want to introduce you guys to everybody I know, and I did that. And I'm just so amazed and so grateful to see the outcome of that initial contact that was made years ago. You took the ball, you ran with it, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. You made history. Mr. Mayor, members of council, city manager, thank you for this opportunity.
And before you step down, I want to thank you as well. I appreciate that you mentioned the fact that that you were Mayor Pro Tem during his service, because that's an important element of the knowledge that you have of his service to the city and of how he loved our city. You had personal knowledge, and that's very significant. So I really appreciate all you've done to bring this recognition to us, and on behalf of City Council, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Amos.
And thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. Going back to some of the personal appearances, those very specific ones, obviously we have to go back to research quite a bit, but for council information, if there are any that, as one of them did, request for staff to waive fees, staff does not waive any fees that are contained in council ordinances. So if you ever have questions about that from citizens, that's just something we do not do. I'll also mention, I believe I sent it to council, but if not, it was also MML's magazine, but our vacant or unsupervised property form was challenged, and the city did win in the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, so it is legal for the actual form. And I would add my congratulations again to Spicer Engineering. They had a really, I think, well-attended event at their office downtown, and they have grown, and I think they continue to grow. So we're happy to have them here in the city, and we do quite a bit of work with Spicer Engineering. I'd also mention, because I did talk to some of the people who worked at Spicer when I was there, that we are looking at downtown parking issues, and we have met with Dean Emerson from SBRC, so hopefully we'll have some solutions in the next year or so, and we do continue to look at our options with the Jacobson parking ramp. The issue there is to find the best way to fund the demolition, because if you'll recall from the study that we did have completed, the price of upgrading the ramp is just about the same as building a brand-new ramp, so it really doesn't make sense to make that investment. So we're continuing to look at that. And finally, as Councilmember Scherzer mentioned, the citywide meeting is Thursday, September 36th, hosted by Northwest Neighborhood Association at Zion Lutheran Church, which is 1209 Hancock Street, and the guest speaker this month is Denise Dunn, who's a program manager for the American Cancer Society. Sure she'll have some good information, and with that, that completes the management update.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Madam Clerk?
Mayor, you are now at the consent agenda.
The consent agenda has been available at City Hall. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Mayor, do we have questions?
Yeah, I had a question for the city manager. I've heard some people complain about the fees in the city of Saginaw for this and for that and stuff like that. Can we get a comparison of fees for different things that we charge in the Tri-City area? Is that possible?
Well, you do get all of our fees. All of our fees are approved by council.
Yes, I understand that.
So comparative fees, and we do look at that sometimes, but by state rules, state law, we aren't supposed to set our fees based on the comparison with other communities. It's supposed to be based upon the cost to provide the service. So that's typically what we look at when we're setting.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to tell people, next time they complain about rental fees and registration fees and stuff like that, they'll let them know that the city manager said they were set up by the council, that we gotta charge these fees to keep the city moving, so.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned we don't waive the fees, because they're established by council. We don't pick and choose who pays the fees, yeah. But it is an interesting issue, and most people don't do look at that on a comparative basis. So we did look at that as part of the issue, but we don't use that to set our fees. Most recently, you probably recall that the more extensive fee study we looked at was for the cemeteries, and Public Services did look at what Bay City charges, what the Catholic Cemetery charges, and so on, just to make sure it is somewhat in line, but again, technically it has to be based on our cost to provide the service.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
The consent agenda, Mayor, is your next business.
All right. The agenda has been available at City Hall, on the city website, and on SGTV Channel 191. Are there any exceptions to be noted by the clerk to the consent agenda items? Any exceptions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
Support. It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion on any of the consent agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None, carried.
Mayor, we are at boards and commissions and committee reports.
Are there any city boards, commissions, or committee reports? Council members? Any? We had a STARS meeting today that I can mention. We did, the STARS board has renewed our executive director contract for 3 years. We like stability, and this should give us, he's done a wonderful job in stabilizing the STARS authority, and the funding is always susceptible to state and federal funds and when those amounts come out, but given what he has had to work with, he's done a tremendous job of stabilizing that operation. So we're very happy for that, and we're very willing to continue his contract. So that was the main item covered today. Other than that, I don't have any other reports either. Anybody else? All right, next item.
Your next order of business is appointment of board and commission members, and we have one tonight. It's approve the council reappointment of Anna Hidalgo to the Human Planning Commission for District 4 with a term to expire December 31st of 2021.
Thank you. Is there a motion to reappoint?
Support.
Moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's carried. Madam Clerk?
We are now at resolutions. Our first one is the adoption of the local pavement warranty program.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
Our next resolution is implementation of the local pavement warranty program.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any further, any discussion on this item? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is carried.
Mayor, you're now at miscellaneous business.
All right, is there any other business to be brought before the council by any member? If not, I'll finish where I was going, but is there any other business? Real briefly, we are working on reinvigorating the regional mayors meeting. We started with mayors from Mount Pleasant, Midland, and Auburn. Hopefully, we'll be bringing Bay City into the fold and 2 or 3 others, and this will give us input into what other, the communities, their strategies, their methodologies, and development processes are happening, and we can share that and perhaps work together a little bit better to further our needs and goals. I do also want to mention that, following up on the idea of the regional mayors, at the MML, there will also be a Urban Core Mayors meeting, which I will be attending, which is aimed at helping the 13 urban cores improve the relationship with the state government and the legislature, the policymakers, to return perhaps some of the funding from the removed or taken away revenue sharing, but also to help the legislatures to understand that without strong local community, you cannot have a strong growing state. And that is the fundamental thing that we think is important, that the state legislature has lost sight of in the role of balancing their budget without paying or helping the communities. So hopefully that will continue over time and continue to improve that relationship and the goal of support for our local communities. Last, I do want to mention the Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission has an Inspired Moments art show that will start October 1st through October 10th with an open reception on Tuesday, October 1st from 5 to 7 p.m. That's all I have. Oh, Councilwoman Scherzer.
I forgot to mention that last week was the YMCA community celebration, and I want to extend a congratulations to retired Chief Van Loo. You can help me. Is he retired battalion chief or Tyrone E. Harge? Retired city battalion chief Tyrone E. Harge got the YMCA Volunteer of the Year award, and then also to our Saginaw ISD and getting the community collaboration award. So I forgot to mention that during council comments, so congratulations to both honorees.
All right. Any other miscellaneous business?
Have we heard anything about the animal shelter?
No. I'd like to say we had, other than that, we know that one site was turned down.
From Kochville?
From Kochville. The odd part is.
Kochville told them no.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Kochville, it was the owner of the land.
Okay.
The odd part is the newspaper article, and of course, we all know whether you can depend on that or not, but talked about 11 sites. None of them that were mentioned in the city. So if you have a word to say to your commissioner, I would urge everyone to do so.
Do we have a unified, could we send them a letter? I mean, what do we?
I have sent them letters.
Okay.
Or a letter encouraging them to respect the will of our citizens who voted for the millage. And without this support of our citizens, it wouldn't have passed. And trying to encourage them to look at viable sites in the city. We cannot, it's their decision, and all we can do is inform them about possible sites, of our willingness to cooperate and work with them, and to encourage them to, again, respect the will of our citizens. And I think we've done that. It's up to them to decide now.
So we have sent a letter?
I personally sent a letter on behalf.
You sent a personal letter?
Well, it was on behalf of the entire citizenry.
Okay.
And you should have received a copy.
Okay.
I sent it to all council members. Yes, Councilmember
And I
Schwartz.
believe that should any members of the public be interested in writing letters, that they can simply email boc@saginawcounty.com, and it will go to all of the county
Very,
commissioners.
very good. Thank you for that. That's excellent. Yes. Anybody, and we would encourage that. So if any citizen has that,
That's a huge development, $12 million. I mean, that's what Delta College
Yeah.
costs downtown, and they have a medical lab. I mean, that would be huge for our community, so I just want to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do to keep that here.
every one of us can certainly write our own letters too. I mean, it was a very good letter, as well as the fact, Councilmember Milne and I also spoke at the last meeting with regard to the animal shelter. So we have definitely covered these points with the commissioners. So,
I just think it's fitting, we had a commissioner here, so
Yes.
I wonder why we got him.
He's in our corner.
Okay, good.
Yep. All right. Any other miscellaneous business? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support?
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.